The city of Eterna was never silent. Neon lights painted the skyline, sirens wailed in the distance, and somewhere, always, someone was running. Taehyung liked the rooftops best. Up here, the noise was muffled, the world far away. His power shadows that bent to his will, curling like smoke around his fingers, are easier to control when he was alone. He was used to solitude. People feared what they didn't understand, and Taehyung had long since stopped trying to explain. Until Jungkook. The first time they met, it was chaos. A runaway truck barreling through downtown, brakes screaming, pedestrians frozen in its path. Taehyung had been seconds away from unleashing his shadows to drag the vehicle to a stop when someone blurred past him. A boy, no, a man, but younger than Taehyung expected, moved like lightning, his body glowing faintly golden. With impossible strength he slammed against the truck, forcing it to a halt. Sparks showered, metal screeched, but the disaster was averted. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Jungkook turned, eyes wide, locking on to Taehyung. For a moment, Taehyung swore Jungkook saw straight through him into every secret he kept tucked in the dark. They crossed paths again and again, until it was no accident. "Why are you following me?" Taehyung demanded one night, shadows coiling protectively around his arms. Jungkook raised his hands in surrender, smiled disarming. "Because you're not the villain they say you are." Taehyung scoffed. "You don't know me." "Then let me." Jungkook stepped closer, light flickering faintly at his fingertips. "Let me know you." The words lingered in the air, dangerously sincere. Partnership wasn't easy. Taehyung was precise, calculating, always 3 steps ahead. Jungkook was reckless, golden energy bursting like sunlight at dawn. They argued constantly about strategy, about trust, about who would take the fall if things went wrong. But in the heat of battle, they moved like they were made for each other. Shadows and light, dark and gold, two halves of a whole. One night, after a particularly brutal fight that left both of them bruised and bloodied, they collapsed in an abandoned warehouse. Taehyung sat with his back against the wall, shadows bandaging his cuts. Jungkook slumped beside him, breathing hard. "You scare me sometimes," Jungkook admitted, staring at the ceiling. Taehyung raised a brow. "Thanks." "No, I mean." Jungkook turned to him, eyes burning. "You scare me because you make me feel things I can't control." Taehyung froze. His shadows stilled. Jungkook's voice softened. "When I'm with you, it's not just about saving the city anymore. It's about you. Making sure you're okay. Making sure you're safe." Taehyung swallowed hard. "You're an idiot." "Probably." Jungkook smiled faintly, leaning closer. "But you're idiot if you'll let me be." For a heartbeat, the only sound was their breathing, ragged and uneven. And then Taehyung kissed him. It wasn't gentle, it was raw, desperate, shadows curling around them like a cocoon while Jungkook's light flared bright enough to blind. They clung to each other like the world outside didn't exist, like maybe it didn't matter if it burned as long as they had this. When they pulled apart, Jungkook laughed breathlessly. "Just shadows and light don't cancel each other out after all." Taehyung smirked, brushing their foreheads together. "No, they make something stronger." The city was silent. It never would be. But as long as they faced it together, darkness and light colliding into something unstoppable, Taehyung thought maybe, just maybe, it didn't have to be lonely anymore.